Gregg Wallace reminds me of Lex Luthor from Superman Returns in 2006. Yeah, Kevin Spacey. I don't know why. Crystals, they're amazing, aren't they? They inherit the traits of the minerals around them. Kind of like a son inheriting the traits of his father. Who remembers that quote? Anyway, I don't know why. Gregg Wallace, yeah, he has been sacked from the BBC of the popular cooking show MasterChef, and the BBC have announced that they will not work with him again. So yes, guys, welcome back to the Spoken Word Media channel. We make modern media sexy, independent modern media made sexy. We got a bit of spice to it, you know what it is. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel if you like it around here. Don't know why you won't. Yeah, we make modern media sexy. Yeah, sexier than all the traditional broadcasters. Yeah, nothing against them. I watch them myself, but you know what it is here. It's always with a spice. Yeah, please smash the like button and subscribe to the channel. Yeah, road to 1,000k. That's the big first target we're gonna get to. Yeah, only need 780 more subscribers to get there. Yeah, one subscriber unsubscribed the other day, but unfortunately it happens. But yeah, guys, back into it. So, Gregg Wallace, as you know, who's been in a lot of trouble recently. So let's get up here now. As you can see, you guys on the screen, damning report into MasterChef's Gregg Wallace reveals 45 substantiated complaints against BBC star. My guy. See? Got him. A report into the behaviour of MasterChef's Gregg Wallace revealed that 45 out of 83 allegations raised against the star have been substantiated. Bro, I can't speak today, as the BBC says it has no plans to work with him again. The report, commissioned by MasterChef's production company Banijay UK and conducted by independent law firm Lewis Silkin, looked into allegations of inappropriate behaviour by the presenter, revealing 45 substantiated complaints against the BBC star out of 83 highlighted. The substantiated claims include one allegation of unwelcome physical contact, the report said. The report found 12 claims he made inappropriate jokes and innuendo, 16 reports he made sexually explicit comments, 2 allegations that he made sexualized comments to or about someone, 4 complaints that he made culturally insensitive or racist comments, 3 claims that he was in a state of undress, 7 allegations of bullying, 1 allegation of unwanted touching. In November 2024, Banijay UK announced that Wallace would step away from his role on MasterChef while historical allegations of misconduct were investigated. The report found that the majority of the allegations against Mr. Wallace, 94%, related to behaviour which is said to have occurred between 2005 and 2018, with only 1 allegation substantiated after 2018. It also conducted that the majority of the substantiated allegations against Mr. Wallace are related to inappropriate sexual language and humour, adding that a smaller number of allegations of other inappropriate language and being in a state of undress, while also substantiated with 1 incident of unwelcome physical contact, also substantiated. Jesus, they love this word, man. The report noted that during the course of the investigation, which was over a 7-month period, Wallace was diagnosed with autism spectrum disorder and said that the findings should be viewed in the context of his neurodiversity. During the investigation, it was found that 10 standalone allegations were made against other people, 2 of which were substantiated. Wallace had been cooperative and forthcoming and was interviewed 3 times by the investigations team for a total number of 14 hours of interview. But Banijay UK said that Wallace's return to MasterChef is untenable following the number of sustained allegations. Okay, so he's got all these rap sheet that's been that have come out about him. Here's what I don't understand. So the BBC have they've been working for him for a long time. He brings in the numbers. Let's be honest. The BBC record and their reputation has been in the bin for a while now. So many cases going back to the Jimmy Savile. I'm not saying he's Jimmy Savile. Yeah, I'm not saying Jimmy Savile, but you got to think about the BBC now. Everything that's coming out about a lot of these people, the allegations. Yeah, Hugh Edwards more recently. I'm not saying it's Hugh Edwards either, but I'm just saying that the BBC are always happy to bring in people as long as they're making their bread. Let's be honest, man. With a lot of the people, they seem to have when they bring in the views and the numbers, they seem to have always look past a lot of things. And I'm sorry with the Gregg Wallace. I'm like that guy. And I'm not saying he is the same guy. But then they said that Axel Rudakana, the crazy man, that looked like he had electric shock, his mug shock. Then they say that he had autism or something as well, bro. Just because you have a neurodiversity, whether it's autism, ADHD, or whether you've got mental health issues, or you've got, I don't know, bipolar, whatever you have, I think people these days seem to think that you you can happen to be a not so great person or a crap person that happens to have issues. Just because you have mental health issues, doesn't mean that doesn't mean that you're a good guy. You have mental health issues. You can just be a good guy, not a good guy or girl that happens to have mental issues. You can be a bad person that happens to have autism. You can be a bad person that happens to have ADHD. You can be a bad person that happens to have any kind of any form of difficulty. Like, it is possible. Do you know what I'm saying? I think people would get wrapped up in this. Oh yeah, bro. Bro, this man is 60 years old, bro. He's 61 in this year. You're telling me that of all the experience, this guy's been married 4 times. His first wife, he was married for 6 weeks. Yeah? He's got children with his second wife. I think that marriage lasted from 1999 to 2005. And then he had the third wife. And then now his current wife that he's been married to since 2016 is the longest reign. Out of all 4 marriages, it's the longest he's been married now. He's had wives, he's had children, he's 60 plus, he's 61 in October. Do you not think that whatever he's being diagnosed with, and in this case having autism, do you not think he knows the difference between right and wrong by now? Him being undressed, he doesn't do these things because he has these conditions. And then people are gonna be like, oh man, he's got this. So what, bro? He knows what he's doing, man. The guy's more than capable of doing. I mean, the fact that he's even in that position, doing what he's doing, he's been there for a number of years. Since 2005 to 2018, bro, that's 13 years. He sounded like he calmed down after 2018, and there's only one thing that's come out since 2018. But for 13 years, this guy was on smoke. Do you know what I mean? I'm not having it, bro. I'm not having it, bro. It would be different if he was in his earlier years of development, like it could be in primary school, certain styles, you start doing certain things, but you don't know, you give a path. Even if you didn't have any kind of neurodiversity, children, they need to be told what's right and from wrong. They need to know how to deal with things, bro. Like, come on, man. Like, if you're exposing yourself, you're undressed, you're walking around naked, or you're down in your boxes or whatever you're doing, you'll get your knob out. You know what you're doing, man. It's got nothing to do with neurodiversity, man. Like, what are you talking about, bro? Come on, big trapping man. You got kids, bro. Come on, man. Being married. I'm not having it. Patrick Holland, chief executive of Banjay UK, said that while the report makes for uncomfortable reading, highlighting failures in legacy reporting that hate and HR procedures, it also provided valuable insight to ensure that going forward, everyone working on our production feels safe and supported, and that appropriate behaviour is quickly and professionally dealt with. Mr. Holland added, in earlier years, specifically prior to 2016, where the vast majority of these issues arose, it's clear that escalation procedures were not as robust as they should have been, and aware of policies and procedures were lacking, particularly amongst freelance staff. He said Wallace would not be returning to MasterChef, adding, We are extremely sorry to anyone who has been impacted by this behaviour and felt unable to speak up at the time or that their complaint was not adequately addressed. MasterChef is a much-loved show which year in, year out changes the lives and careers of contestants, amateur and professional alike. It's made by a brilliant team of outstanding professionals, and we look forward to bringing more exceptional cooking to screens in the coming months and years. The BBC also said that it has informed Wallace that it has no plans to work with him in the future, adding in a statement, the investigation details a substantial number of allegations of inappropriate conduct spanning 19 years. This behaviour falls below the values of the BBC and the expectations we have for anyone who works for us. What values of the BBC? The values of the BBC is just to take your money from your TV licence and allow nonsense to flourish. Talking about? What are you talking about, bruv? Anyway, sorry, back to the article. Although the full extent of these issues were not known at the relevant time, opportunities were missed to address this behaviour, both by the production companies running MasterChef and the BBC. We accept more could and should have been done sooner. The BBC also addresses the future of a series of MasterChef films last year, which has not yet been aired, saying they had not made a final decision on broadcasting it, adding, we know this is disappointing for fans of the show and those who took part, and at the appropriate time, Banny J UK will consult further with the amateur contestants. Their statement added, we want to reaffirm there is no place for the abuse of power, unacceptable behaviour or language at the BBC or shows made for the BBC. Last year, a BBC News investigation revealed a string of allegations of inappropriate sexual comments and alleged inappropriate behaviour against Wallace by 13 people who worked with him across a range of shows over a 17-year period, including former news site host Kirsty Wark. A statement from Wallace's lawyers at the time said that it is entirely false that he engages in behaviour of sexually harassing nature as reported by the BBC News. In December, Wallace claimed in an Instagram video that complaints about his behaviour came from a handful of middle-class women of a certain age. We'll get into that in a minute. After a backlash, he apologised for any offence or upset caused and said he would take some time out. Ahead of the official publishing of the external review, Wallace claimed in an Instagram post on July the 8th that he had been cleared of the most serious and sensational accusations against him. He added that his neurodiversity had now formally been diagnosed as autism, saying in a social media post that it was suspected and discussed by colleagues across countless seasons of MasterChef. His social media post and the report came as the TV presenter and former greengrocer faced claims from 50 or more people, as reported by BBC News last week, with the majority saying he made inappropriate sexual comments and 11 women accused him of inappropriate sexual behaviour, such as groping and touching. Wallace was the original presenter of the BBC show Saturday Kitchen in 2002 and has also featured on Eat Well for Less, Inside the Factory, Turn Back Time, Harvest and Supermarket Secrets. He was most known, however, for presenting MasterChef, the Professionals and Celebrity MasterChef. Dear, man. Dear, bro. This is damning, man. So, bro, he's had like, I mean, how was it 45 out of 83 allegations? Oi, what? Let me do a quick maths thing. I can't even bother to what's that, 38 allegations? Jesus, man. 30, that is the difference between that is 38 allegations. Even that is, how are you in a decade, bro? That's like, bro, you got more allegations than a flipping jail life sentence. But the thing with, you know what it is with Gregg Wallace as well, yeah? He's one of those guys that, because I've seen his background, he's typical, he's born in like the 60s, so he's born in 1964, yeah? Working class British guys, yeah? And he's from Peckham as well, so he's from South East London, he's from Peckham. At a time when Peckham is a lot different to what it is today. Peckham's now gentrified, a lot of middle class people. He's like typical working class British guy from like the 1960s in South East London, or some of them guys that go branch out to like Kent or Essex, East End as well. In this case, he's South, and he's that kind of guy that will be on like you know in EastEnders, isn't it? Like you know how they still have you got the market stall, and you get the geezers that work there, like they'll be charting stuff, they'll be charting stuff because they'll be charting stuff because obviously in the reason the reason why I'm talking about this is because like he mentions like middle class women, yeah, and obviously he's come from a working class background. I know people in EastEnders, a lot of the people in EastEnders are working class people. So you see them all out on like, doing working class jobs outside, was on the fruit and veg stall market. He'd be charting, hey darling, like flirting out in the open, just starting stuff. And certain people from certain demographics are more liable to do those things compared to other people. If you know what I'm talking about, if you're old enough, you understand what I'm saying. If you're a bit younger, you'll probably learn that with time and observation. There's certain things that people. By the way, I'm not making excuses for him. By the way, I'm just saying that he's probably used to that kind of thing. So he's the type of thing that he's probably used to making his work fun, innit? Like making work fun or adding spice to his own job. So when he's doing them things, he's like adding his own. They do it all the time, bro. They flirt 500 times a day when they're at work, and they do that stuff. I'm not making excuses for the allegations or the groping. That's all crazy, innit? But I'm just saying that he's that type of guy that's always on that. And you need to understand though, a lot of these guys get away with this or are okay to get away with it. And I'm gonna say something as well. And a lot of the girls do actually like it. Not all of them. A lot of them don't, and some of them secretly like it. Some of them are okay with it. Some of them are. Doesn't make what he does okay, but some of them do because some of them like the attention. Some of them don't want this attention. So because in his mind, he's probably thinking. And by the way, let me just rewind it because you'll get someone trying to say, "What are you trying to say? What girls like to get harassed?" No, I didn't say that. Before some idiot tries to say, "Yo, what are you trying to say?" Allow it, man. You know what I'm saying? Well, don't be doing that, bro. Don't be doing that. Not on my channel. You understand what I'm saying, bro? Yeah. But anyway, back to it. I got work later, innit? What I'll say is that just because some girls might have been okay with him doing what he's doing, but in his mind he could have assumed that because they assumed they liked it, all the other girls will like it as well. It doesn't really work like that. It doesn't really work like that. Just because some are alright with you doing doesn't mean all of them are happy for you to do it. So in his mind, he's probably thinking, "Oh my god, man, it's typical these middle class girls. They're probably a bit more." Because let's be honest, bro, there is like from a historical context, there is a bit more stereotypes with certain class demographics. Working class people tend to be a bit more. I'm making generalization for the conversation, but when you're working class here, you tend to be a bit more, especially from back in the day as well, in terms of like certain behaviors, you're a bit more out there. If you know what I'm trying to say, but with like when you're a bit more of the middle class, especially from born in that era, they tend to be a bit more sometimes. I don't know, man. A bit more stiff, man. I'll be honest, bro. Nowadays, it's slightly changing, but there's still fundamentals that are still more in place. And because he works for the BBC, yeah, which historically actually only really employs middle class people, really. Yeah, from historical before they started expanding their network. Before the BBC, you had to talk. You had to talk a certain way to be on the BBC, British broadcast channel. You had to talk a certain way to get on the channel. Yeah, and you had to be. You typically came from a certain background, school, educational institution. Nowadays, you have. Well, sometimes these days you get Mandem on BBC these days. It wasn't always a thing. So, and with the BBC, from what I understand, they liked him for it. They liked him. It's like, yeah, man, he brings in the views, he brings in their stuff. They do that, and because he's now going to encounter probably a diverse amount of demographics, bro. What worked with some people didn't work with others, and now you've been found out, and that's why he's probably saying, "Oh yeah, it's these middle class women that complain, blah blah blah." Okay, cool. Even if they are complaining, that doesn't make what you did right, though. Doesn't make it right. Do you understand? But again, I've never had I've never personally had an issue with Gregg Wallace. I've never really, I never watched, watched MasterChef religiously. I never went out my way to watch it. I only watched it when it was like on. Like I only watched it when it was on. I didn't go out my way to watch it. So there's a lot of comments at times he probably would have said, and then like okay, but then he's been allowed to do that, and you got to mean, bro, 13 years of dominance, bro. Bro, like if you're used to doing that, the BBC, you've enabled that. So don't now see that the BBC, like when the things come out all of a sudden, oh yeah, we don't want to work with him again. But you had no problem with him before. When he's bringing all them ratings in, bringing up the views, you had no issue with it. And now all of a sudden now things are, it's a problem. Or we could have stopped it sooner, bro. The BBC needs to get their act together, man. It's not good, and you're just giving more people reason to why they just want to complain or not pay their TV license. Yeah, just give them more ammunition to say this is why we don't do it, because all these allegations, because they lose more credibility by the day. Yeah, more credibility by the day. Yeah, but yeah, man like Lex Luthor, yeah, all that kind of stuff. Yeah, man like Kevin Spacey and all them things there. Yeah, man. Anyway, guys, let me know your comments in the comment section below. Please smash the video. Hope you watch it all to the end. Comment as well. I reply to everybody as much as I can. And subscribe to the channel if you like the content. And I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.